I have experienced a number of things that have affected me deeply and required me to consider forgiveness. One of those was actually after I started studying forgiveness through couple counseling and then through doing research on it. One New Year's Eve night, my mother was murdered. A young man broke into her home and thinking that she was away. And when she woke up and he was in there, he bludgeoned her with a crowbar and until she died. So that was a very difficult event in my life. It affected me in a lot of different ways. In the short term, it affected me because I was really angry that this could happen. In fact, my brother and my sister and I were there at my brother's house on the day that we discovered her murder, and we were talking. And I remember getting so angry, and I saw a baseball bat against the wall, and I pointed to it, and I said, "I wish that that person were here. I would take that baseball bat and I would beat him to death." So I was really, really angry at first, uh, and I was able to forgive the young man. And but the effects of this go on and on. For one thing that it did is it changed my entire research program, making forgiveness something that was the most important thing to me. I have a mission in life that is to do all I can to promote forgiveness in every willing heart, home, and homeland. And that came directly out of the aftermath of dealing with this murder. The way that I dealt with the murder was in the beginning. After I was so angry, I went up to spend the night at my relative's house. I couldn't sleep. I was so angry. I just walked around and around the bed until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And finally, I realized I was just wasting the entire night. And so I sat down on the bed to think about what I would say about my mom at the funeral. And as I did, I realized that here I had been a therapist who had helped people forgive. I had been a researcher who had studied forgiveness, a person who had made up an intervention to help people forgive. And yet I had not allowed myself to even think about forgiveness that entire first 24-hour period. So I started to work through the 5 steps of my reach forgiveness model. And the beginning was to recall the hurt and to try to get into the frame of mind of the person who might have done this. Well, the police had thought that this might be a youth who had broken in to rob, to burglarize her home, and then not realizing she was home. And then he responded in violence. And so as I thought through what it must be like for a young man to be out in the cold in New Year's in Knoxville, Tennessee, where my mom lived. It's very cold at that time. And he's looking at this darkened house thinking he's going to create a perfect crime because these people are probably away at a New Year's party. So he broke in, and then when my mother stepped out behind him, out of her bedroom, and confronted him, he probably, my thinking was, he probably was feeling fear that he might go to prison. He's feeling angry that his perfect crime has been destroyed, and he has no impulse control. He wouldn't be breaking into people's houses if he had impulse control. And so he reached out with that that bar that he had used to break in, and he kept striking her until she died. I suddenly had a memory of earlier that evening just pointing at that baseball bat and saying, I wish whoever were here, I would take that baseball bat and kill him. And I thought at that point, whose heart is darker here? Is it a young man who is burglarizing homes who thinks his perfect crime is spoiled, or is it this older guy who has told other people how to forgive and who has done research on religion and spirituality, and yet I'm willing to take a baseball bat and kill him. And I thought, well, my heart is darker than his heart. And yet I knew, because I am a Christian, I knew that I could be forgiven for this if I took this to God. And I thought, well, if I can be forgiven for the darkness of my heart, who am I to hold this against this young man? And I was able to forgive him at that point. So this, of course, has influenced my life in a lot of ways, and influenced my research, as I mentioned before. But one of the other ways that influenced my life was this really had an impact on our immediate family. My sister was very depressed about this, and so was my brother. In fact, my brother eventually committed suicide as a result of post-traumatic stress, where he could not get the picture of discovering my mother's body out of his mind. But it also affected my children's life, especially my youngest daughter, who really was only about, I think, 8 at the time. And she was very upset, and for years had a lot of emotional memories and disturbance as a result of that. But I think it affected all 4 of my children. And also, of course, my wife was involved right with me through the whole aftermath of this. So these things have a lot of impact. I just feel so blessed that I was able to forgive, because if I had been carrying a lot of anger and bitterness and had to deal with all the memories of this loss, that would have been a very difficult thing on myself and the people who knew me. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to forgive.